think I'm doing it right. Hope I'm doing it right. Give me a second. There we go. We are live. If you're not following me, make sure you hit that subscribe button on your way in or on your way out. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so we can grow the channel. So we can make sure we are getting this information out to everybody who wants to hear it. I think we in. I think we good. So what's up? What's up, everybody, man? This is FD White, aka Crypto Funds, back with a live stream today. Like I said, if you're just joining in, make sure you are following me on. Subscribe to the channel, and we're gonna give it a couple more minutes to let everybody come in, and then we'll get started. We're gonna talk about CPI. We're gonna talk about Bitcoin holding steady. We're gonna shoot some stocks. We'll see what gold's doing. We'll talk some news, and then we'll get up out of here because I need to get some trading done today. I've seen some setups that I need to tend to. So like I said, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit all bell notifications. Make sure you like the stream so we can get it out there to as many people as possible. And we got one more minute. And then we'll be ready to start. So we got one more minute. Everything's looking good. So let's begin. So, like I said, I go by FD White, aka Crypto Funds. This is the Crypto Funds Invest YouTube channel. We talk about all things crypto. We talk about charts. We talk about news. We do analysis. We analyze the overall economy. We analyze the stock market. We analyze the real estate market. We analyze different countries because it all has something to do with our portfolios. It all has something to do with our bags. So we got to put everything in our analysis now. The way everything is going, the way the economy is working, we have to make sure we are incorporating everything into our analysis. So, yeah, like I said, subscribe to the channel. Also, if you're not following me on the Twitters, formerly known as Twitter, now it's called X. I don't like that. Make sure you follow me at King Crypto Funds. You'll go over and you'll see FD White with the blue check mark. That's me. So make sure you follow me over on Twitter or X. Last but not least, my book is out. Stop being late to the party. Make sure you go download that. Make sure you get the ebook. The prices right now, it was showing the hard copy price for the past couple of days, but now we got the real price. This is the ebook price, $4.99. Make sure you link is in the description if you want to cop that book, if you want to support, if you just want the information, if you don't got $4.99, if you don't want to spend $4.99 on it, email me at fdwhite. What's my email address? fdwhite@cryptofundsinvest.com, and I'll send you a PDF version for free. So let's talk crypto. First of all, let's go into the markets. Let's go into the market and see what we're looking at. See what's going on with the overall market. We got Bitcoin coming in at 25,266. We got Ethereum coming in at 1608. We got BNB still holding strong through the FUD at $212.68. XRP under 50%. We just had a small dump a little bit earlier. That's one of the trades I'm looking at. XRP coming in at 48.31. We got Cardano still under 25 cents. Hasn't moved really since yesterday, 24.92. Then we got Dogecoin at 6 cents with a 134 after it. Solana still under that 19 mark that I'm looking for a support resistance flip at 18.35. And then we won't go too much further down. Polygon still at 50 cents. Litecoin under $60. Shiba Inu with a bunch of zeros in front of it. So let's jump into some charts and let's talk Bitcoin. Let's talk about Bitcoin. So right now, this is XRP. Right now, Bitcoin is holding steady, still in this range. Right now, it's at the top of the range. So what do we say about this range? Short the top, long the bottom. So right now, what I'll be looking for is a short. We'll be looking for a short here. Let's look at some oscillators. So this is on the hourly. So right now, what I suggest is, this is not financial advice, trade the hour and below. Short-term scalps. Short-term scalps is what I'm doing right now. I'm trying to get in, I'm trying to get out. I'm not trying to be in trades too long because this market is too volatile. It's the volume is low, which means price swings will be at a high, or yeah, price swings will be very high to the upside and to the downside. So like I said, right now we got the stochastic oversold, we got the RSI oversold, looking like the VWAP is bottomed out. I mean, it's zero line, so we'll see if the VWAP comes down. We got our momentum wave starting to roll over. So I'll be looking for a short here. I'll be looking for a short here. So when I get off the stream, I'll check again and I'll be looking for a short. So this is actually looking like a double top pattern on the hourly. So what is a double top pattern? Double top pattern is also called an M pattern. So if we come here, we can see this. We went up, down to the midpoint, back up again, got rejected. We'll see if we get rejected. If we get rejected here, we'll probably go down, 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 and then we might end up back at our red zone at about 25,200. So that's the trade I'm looking for. I'm looking for this double top to play out here and here. So we'll see if that happens for the double top. Like I said, I'm not making any more predictions. I'm not making any more price fortune telling. I'm just going in. I'm letting the charts do the talking. I'm letting the charts tell me what to do. And I'm reacting to what the charts are telling me what to do. So like I said, Bitcoin is still holding strong, like you see in the title. Even though we had CPI come in a little hot, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about what it has to do with the stock market. And we'll look at the stock market. We'll look at the dollar after we look at Ethereum and Solana and XRP. So Solana had this nice run up from yesterday. Was this Monday? Oh, this is Ethereum. I'm sorry. So Ethereum had a nice run up. We had that small dip. Nice run up. Up, down, up. So this one is looking like, if we come up here, this is looking like it may be a potential double top as well. So I always like to look at my my volume profiles, because your volume profiles are going to give you it's like a cheat code. You don't even have to really draw your support and resistance lines. So if you got your volume profiles over here, this is where the most volume is traded for the screen. So all of this information here. So if you pull more information in, more price action in, this is where the most volume is traded. So boom, we got this area here. So this would be the bottom of the volume profile, the bottom of the volume, the mass volume here. So we can look for a short at about 620. So basically, if we come up, that'll be that M pattern that we were talking about on Bitcoin as well. That'll be like another double top, which we can short at about 620 and short it all the way back down. See, so when you have these volume gaps here, price usually, if it breaks, you see this area here, this is what I'm looking at. So you see how this is confluence with this. And then, so if we break here, if we break this area here, you see this gap, it's probably just going to go right straight up there. Boom. That'll be your area to the short, right back down. So that's what I'll be looking for with Ethereum. But like we said, like we all know, Bitcoin rules the party. Bitcoin runs the overall market. So if Bitcoin goes up, we can see altcoins going up with it. We can see if Bitcoin goes down, we'll see altcoins most likely go down with it. So Solana's looking real bearish, but see this volume gap? So what I'm looking at right now, boom, I don't even got to do nothing. I'm just drawing my line and confluence with my volume gap. So if we get to the top of the volume right here, see this gap? We break through. See, look, when we came down, see how we just came straight down? Because of this gap. This gap, I'm telling you, this is a cheat code. So if we break through it, we'll probably just go straight back up to 1920, 1930 area. So I'm just keeping my eye out right now. The overall market is it's kind of in limbo. It's still more bearish than bullish to me. So I'll be that's why I keep my stop losses tight and I keep my trades short. No long-term trades right now unless something happens in the overall markets, in the overall economy. Like in October, if we get the BlackRock ETF approval. If we get the BlackRock ETF approval in October, be looking for a major rally. Be looking for a major rally in Bitcoin for sure. Bitcoin for sure. And then some alts will definitely follow. So let's look at the dollar, because the dollar has been on a tear recently. Let's go to the daily on the dollar. So the dollar has hit resistance. This resistance goes all the way back to May 2022. So we went up, rejection. Went up, rejection. Finally broke through, held that support. That's all trading is. You break the resistance. See if you hold it as support. That's an SR flip, support resistance flip. Boom, took off. Came back down, broke straight through it, hit this second point of support. Came up, hit our head. Now it's resistance again. Came down, support. Came up, lower high. Came back down, broke through. Now we're hitting our head back on resistance, as we see here, here, and here. So I'm anxious to see what the dollar does. So the dollar is in pretty much inverse correlation to risk assets for the most part. But the dollar, if you don't know what the DXY is just a basket of currencies against the dollar. So even if the dollar is weak, I just call the dollar the dirtiest shirt. I mean the cleanest shirt in a dirty basket. So the dollar's dirty, euro, yen, all of them are fiat currencies. All of them are pretty much, being inflated. All of them are pretty much garbage. But, we got to deal with it. We got to use it. We got to do what we got to do. So the DXY is going up. Why has the DXY been going up? Because the Federal Reserve has been talking about they're going to keep raising interest rates, keep, the foot on the gas. They're going to keep their target of 2% inflation rate coming down to 2%. And we'll talk about CPI in a minute. So with that being said, the dollar has been going up, which is putting a little bit more added pressure on risk assets like the stock market and crypto. So we see the stock market has kind of topped out. I don't know if we're going to get another push. Usually September, if you in tune to what's going on, September is usually a bearish month for crypto, for stocks. So we'll have to see how this plays out. We're at almost the middle of September, so we'll see how the rest of the month plays out. If you just joined, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I go by Crypto Funds, FD White. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that like button. And I appreciate you watching. So yeah, like I said, the dollar looked like it's topped out. If we break through here, this area here, be looking for a lot of more pressure on Bitcoin. Be looking for a lot of more pressure on the risk assets like the stock market and whatnot. So we'll keep our eye on the dollar. Also, what's putting added pressure on the altcoin market is Bitcoin dominance. So if you don't know what Bitcoin dominance is just how much of the overall market cap or the whole crypto space is in Bitcoin. So right now it's leading back up to 50%. So that means 50% of all the money in cryptocurrency is in Bitcoin, and the rest is, in altcoins. So as Bitcoin dominance goes up, the altcoin market usually bleeds into Bitcoin. So that means the altcoin market will go down in their relationship to Bitcoin. So as we see in June, we broke out, went all the way up to about 52%, retraced back down, went up, lost this support here, hit this support line. Now, like I say, it's all about support and resistance. We broke back through here. Now we're holding this as support. So if we hold this as support, we can be looking for something maybe like this. We hold this as support and then we take off again. And once that happens, we'll be looking for altcoins to bleed against Bitcoin. So let's go to some news. So today we got the CPI that came out. CPI came out. It was a little hot. It says CPI report for August upside surprises core as headline rises to 3%. So this is what I want to look at. Boom. This is, if you want to look at all the information, all the data that came out in the past or what's coming out in the future, you go to forexfactory.com/calendar, and then you can even go into like the filter tab somewhere over here, and then you can just do it for whatever country you want. So I'll just put it on all US, all USD, United States. So if we look here, let's click on this. We look on here, August. It's not giving me what I want to see. It's not giving me. So, okay. So in June, I'll just tell you. In June, we got 3% CPI come in. July, we got 3.2. Okay, we like, oh, okay, it ticked up a little bit. This month, we got 3.7. So I know Joe Biden and everybody was waiting for, well, they probably knew before the numbers came out, but every time something comes out, every time the inflation numbers come out, every time some job number comes out, they come out, well, we're fighting the good fight against inflation. We're winning the fight against inflation. We're doing this, we're doing that. And I'm like, oh God. Because the average people don't know. The average people just look at they look at the mainstream media, they look at everything, and they're like, oh yeah, we're winning the fight against inflation. And they go to the grocery store, and then bread costs $4. Everything's still expensive. Like I say, the grocery store like a funeral. You know what I mean? Everybody's sad. Everybody's spending so much money at the grocery store. Gas is going up. Oil's going up, which is putting added pressure on the CPI numbers. So everything's still highly elevated. So what people fail to realize is with inflation, inflation number coming down does not mean prices are necessarily coming down. It just means prices are rising at a slower pace. So if inflation was 9% last year at this time, it was going 9% year over year. So the year before it's up 9% from the year before. Now we're at 3.7%. Now it's just going up 3.7% higher than last year. So that's the misconception people have about inflation. That does not necessarily mean prices are going down. It just means they're going up slower. So that's what the thing I want people to know. That's the thing I want people to realize about inflation. So it says CPI came in at 3.7. Biden says he'll focus on cutting energy costs. So here we go again. How is he gonna cut energy costs? So during the midterms, if you remember, before the midterms in November, Joe Biden, all the people, they started to take oil from the Strategic Petroleum Reserves, SPR, which is only supposed to be used in case of emergency. It's only supposed to be used in case of like war or something like that. They start using it in order to bring gas prices down, in order to get favorable votes or a favorable sentiment when the voting came around. So now that he used most of all the Strategic Petroleum Reserves, now he's saying, Biden says he'll focus on cutting energy costs. President Joe Biden on Wednesday, when he saw a positive trend in consumer inflation, but that the increase in gas was troubling. That's why I remain laser focused on cutting energy costs by investing in clean energy to bolster our energy. Like, okay, you know how long that's going to take. So we'll just have to see with that. We got OPEC, we got Saudi Arabia cutting oil production. So that's just going to put added pressure, added weight on the CPI, on the oil prices, on the gas. I think oil is at like $90. Like I was telling everybody when it was like low 70s or high 60s, I'm like, it's going back up. It's going back up because they're going to start they're going to start cutting these OPEC countries, these few countries that just joined BRICS, Saudi Arabia, Iran. They're going to start putting added pressure on the economy, on the United States, because number one, they don't like us. Number two, they just trying to I think they want that you know what? I can't remember who said it. It might have been George Gammon. He made a good point. He made a good point. So he said OPEC or Saudi Arabia, they see the writing on the wall. So what's the writing on the wall? They see that the United States is going into an economic downturn, a recession, whatever you want to call it. They see it. They see the writing on the wall. What happens to oil during a recession, during an economic downturn? Oil demand goes down because less trucks are moving, less planes are flying, less, energy is being used because the demand is down. So that means if the demand goes down, oil prices go down. It's all about supply and demand. So if oil prices go down, they're not making their money. They're not making as much money as they want to make. So they're trying to squeeze all the money they can out right now by lowering these by lowering these production rates of the oil, by cutting, 1.3 or 3 billion million 3 million barrels of oil per day. They're trying to get as much money as they can before the United States goes into this economic downturn recession. So that's one thing that stood out to me. Shout out to George Gammon. I watch him every day. He's a very smart guy. A lot of these people on YouTube, they're either super bullish or they super bearish. They're either super optimistic or they super doom and gloomers. I try to stay somewhere in the middle. I am leading more towards a recession. I am leading more towards an economic downturn. Everything going on, savings rate plummeting, credit card spending going higher and higher, over $1 trillion, government debt all-time highs and getting higher and higher. It's not looking good. It's not looking good in America. We're kicking the can down the curb. Um, Everything happening right now will just be a precursor to an economic downturn. I do think we will have an economic downturn. How bad it will be or how much more worse it will get is yet to be determined. So, yeah, so the CPI report came in hot today. So the Fed futures right now. So the stock market, if you don't know, people want to know why the stock market is up on bad news. When it's good news, it's bad news, good news, whatnot. So the stock market looks 4-6 months ahead of what's going on in the actual economy. So that's what happens with the stock market. The stock market is always forward looking. So we're always trying to stock market, crypto. We're always trying to predict the future so we can get ready, be in position. We want to be in position for our bags. We want to be in position for our portfolios. So today, with the CPI coming out a little hot, I thought it would be putting added pressure on the stock market. Because I thought they would be thinking like, okay, since since the inflation came out a little hot, that just puts more fuel on the fire for the reserve to keep raising interest rates or to raise interest rates at the next meeting, which is next month. So it says Fed futures price in rate pause after CPI data. And this is from Barron's.com. It says the latest inflation reading all but assured traders the Federal Reserve won't increase the headline interest rate at its September meeting. Traders now put 95% odds that the Federal Reserve will pause on interest rate increases, according to the CME Fed Watch tool. So usually this CME Fed Watch tool has been pretty accurate in dictating or foreseeing what the Fed is going to do. So next week, I can't remember which day, they're going to come out with a meeting. So we'll see if they raise interest rates again, 0.25. But I mean, they don't need to raise it anymore. It's already high enough. They're already squeezing the life out of the economy slowly but surely. And as we go further along into the rest of the year, we'll see more and more things start deteriorating because of these high interest rates. It says consumer price rose 3.7% annual pace in August and 0.6 from July. The reading was close to expectations. Core prices, which strip out food and energy categories, slowed to 4.3% annual increase from 4.7 in July. So we'll just keep our eye on CPI. We'll keep our eye on what's happening in the overall economy, because it's all, like I always say, it all has something to do with our bags. So keep your eyes and your ears and your alerts on, and you should be fine. preserve capital, because the time will come when all of this will be erased and the money printers will be back on, but we'll already be in position. We'll already be ready. We will be ahead of the curve. And like my book, we will not be late to the party. We will be at the party on time, way before everybody else. So what else did I want to look at today? Um, oh, another well, crypto news. Binance US. So let's talk about Binance. Binance is, it's every other day is something new with Binance. I like CZ from what I see. I never met him, never talked to him, never interacted. I like CZ from what I see. I like that he seems like he's pro crypto, he's for crypto. He's not really like a super businessman trying to come in and make a bunch of money and do a bunch of bad things in the space. Seems like he really cares about crypto. Seems like he really cares about the space. So I'm rooting for Binance. But Binance and Binance US are two separate entities. So we have Binance US cuts 100 people from the staff, and the CEO gets out. It says Binance US cut around 100 positions, a third of its staff, and its president and CEO, Brian Schroeder, also departed from the crypto exchange, says a company spokesman told Cointelegraph. His position was taken over by Chief Legal Officer Norman Reedon on an interim basis. And the Binance US spokesman added, took actions to give the exchange more than 7 years of financial runway. The security exchange, the SEC's aggressive attempts to cripple our industry and the resulting impacts on our business have real world consequences for American jobs and innovation. This is an unfortunate example of that, says Schroeder. So Binance US probably won't be around too much longer. I think Binance US is on its last leg here in the United States. Until we get Gary Gensler out, until we get somebody in at the SEC, a SEC chair who is I'm sorry. So until we get somebody in the SEC, they don't even have to be pro crypto. They don't have to be pro crypto. They don't have to be pro crypto. They don't have to be against crypto. They just need to be fair. They need to be fair, and they need to realize that this space is very important for the world. They need to, and they're very important for the United States, because a lot of these other countries are coming in. A lot of these other countries are taking more. Okay, Commando Spawn, I got you. Make a video of your take of Crow use case. I definitely will. I'll look into it and I'll make a video. Thank you for commenting. I will look into that. But what was I saying? Yeah, we need a pro crypto person in. We need not a pro crypto. We need a fair crypto person in who comes in and realizes that the space, especially in the US, is very important, and we don't want these other countries getting too far ahead of us as we move forward in the space. So last but not least, I want to go back to the charts, and I want to look at some trade setups, check out Bitcoin again. So Bitcoin is still ranging in this range. So this range is from August 18th, so about a month. So we're just in this range for about a month. And it's still, like, in the grand scheme of things, I'm sorry, hold on. See, this, my trading view is just all weird. So in the grand scheme of things, this is still a bear flag. So when you come down, you get a huge move down, and you just start consolidating sideways. Just disregard this deviation. We're just going sideways. So this is still a bear flag. So how do you calculate a bear flag? You take the pole like that, and then you put it to the breakdown, and where do we have it? Right there. Our confluence area. Look at that. Our confluence area. The area that I've been saying the whole time. If you've been watching my videos, 23,200 to 23,000. So, that's what I'm looking at right now. Even if you take this and you come with this support and resistance over here, it all just basically lines up. So technical analysis is never pinpointed, it's never specific, it's always areas. Areas. So that's why when you trade, you got to trade areas, not specific price points. So I mean, everything's lining up here. Everything's lining up for us to move down. I don't see a huge catalyst for us to move up right now in the crypto market. I mean, I hope we do. I really hope we do. I mean, this is not 100% that we'll break down. This is not 100% that we'll break down. We can break up. We can break up, and we can break up massively. Like any type of news, like let's just say we get some type of news that like I said, the Bitcoin ETF has been approved. The Bitcoin ETF gets approved, all technicals go out the window. Now we're shooting straight back up. We probably go to like back up to the range highs all the way up here at about 31K, maybe higher. But we gotta wait a month. Like I said, usually September is a bearish month for crypto, is a bearish month for stocks. But right now we're just going sideways. Like I said, X out this deviation, we just been going sideways for a month. We just been going sideways for a month. My overall analysis is bearish 60-40. So 60% of me thinks we're gonna go down, 40% thinks we're gonna go up. But when I'm trading, I don't even think about that. I put my emotion to the side and I let the charts do the talking. Put my emotions to the side. Because when I first started trading, when I first started learning how to trade, I was so emotional. Listening to YouTube, listening to YouTubers, listening to people on TikTok, listening to people on Twitter, being super bullish or super bearish, getting in the zone like, oh yeah, we bullish. Not thinking about technicals. I mean, you do have to ride sentiment. For the most part. But for the most part, the technicals are gonna tell you, what to trade, what not to trade, what to do. Because sentiment will only take you so far. But I definitely put in sentiment in my analysis. I put in fundamentals, and most importantly for me, are the technicals. But it just depends on where we at. It depends on what's going on, and that'll determine which one I use the most. But mostly it's just technicals. Patterns, support, resistance, things like that, indicators, momentum indicators. So yeah, I mean, Bitcoin's okay. We're getting a little small pump here. So let's see if we can break out of this range. Let's actually get some more information. Let's go into the hourly. So I mean, what you'll look for if you're trying to take a trade here, what I'll look for this. Boom. Okay, we got this. I'll look for a breakout, a retest, and then we'll go up back to this area here. See this volume gap? So if we break out of this, we have a huge volume gap all the way up to about 27,200, 27,300. So that's what I'm looking for. We get a bounce up, look for a retest. Usually the retest, sometimes you can even do this. Sometimes you can even blast through, almost hit it, come back down, then go further. Always come back to that scene of the crime. That's usually the safer trade. Because this might be a fake out. So it could be a fake out, and then it could just roll right back over. But, I like the long more than I like the short. Shorting is kind of hard, especially it's not that hard, but I just like the long. I think you make more money when you're long. I'm not sure about that, but I definitely like the long better. Just feels right. Feels better when you're long. So that's pretty much it. That's all I wanted to come with. Not too much today. I got a couple videos that I want to make this week. One of the videos is talking about some of the top influencers, some of the top people in crypto that I listen to, that I use in my analysis. For the rest of the bear, going into the bull market. Some analysis, some analysts, or some YouTubers, some crypto people, some influencers are better in the bull market. Like you can't even listen to them in the bear market. Some are good for both, and then some are just good for the bear market. So I'm gonna make that video today. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. If you're here, if you're new, I go by FD White, aka Crypto Funds. Yeah, make sure you like, subscribe, and we're gonna get out of here. Make sure you're doing your due diligence. Make sure you're doing your homework. Make sure you are not listening to a YouTuber or influencer wholeheartedly. Make sure you are doing your own research, doing your own due diligence, doing your own everything, and then use that in conjunction with what we're saying, because we are only human. We make mistakes. We are not right. A lot of people are doing a lot of stuff for clickbait. Not me. I give you I give you the news, the facts, the data, straight. So make sure you like. Make sure